Vainement, ma bien-aimée, je crois l'avoir espéré près de ta porte fermée. Je veux encore demeurer. Les soleils pourront s'éteindre, les nuits remplacer les jours, sans Je le sais, ton ami douce, il bientôt viendra où la main qui me repousse vers la mienne se tendra. Ne sois pas trop tardive à te laisser attendrir. Si Roselle bientôt n'arrive, je vais, hélas, mourir, hélas, mourir.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the fourth and final concert in Classical Vauxhall 2021. Classical Vauxhall was established to build on Vauxhall's historic relationship with the arts and culture. Our series is kindly supported by Vauxhall One, making Vauxhall a better place to live, work, do business, and enjoy the arts. And we're also very kindly supported by the Arts Council England and by Lambeth Council. As always, you can get in touch with us on social media. You can tag us at @BeinVauxhall or use the hashtag Classical Vauxhall. And please do get in touch because it's always wonderful to hear from our audience whilst we can't have you all here. I'm delighted this evening to welcome the very dynamic duo of tenor Nicky Spence and pianist Dylan Perez. They're going to perform a wonderful selection of some of their favourite songs for you all this evening. And just before the show begins, I caught up with them a little bit earlier on at Vauxhall's Sky Garden by Strawberry Star, and we talked about everything from music, life, and of course about the programme this evening. Enjoy. So, Nicky Spence and Dylan Perez, thank you both so much for meeting me here at Vauxhall's Sky Garden at Strawberry Star. Little horn there as well to celebrate. Guys, we're looking forward to your performance tonight, of course, but we're going to start with saying, do you have any connection to Vauxhall or the Lambeth area? Have you been, have you performed here before? Have you fallen out of a nightclub at 2 a.m? Have you got any connection to the area at all?
I think all of the above, for starters. We were desperate to go and see a drag night. Do you remember, of 90 Night?
Yeah, Julia Davis.
Julia Davis lookalike.
Yeah.
At the Vauxhall Tavern. But it was in the height of lockdown, so we couldn't go. But I've recorded a disc about Vauxhall pleasure gardens, like old music with harpsichord and recorder.
Of course, because of Handel's connection to the pleasure gardens.
Yes.
Does he feature on the recording, or?
He's not there.
No.
Handel didn't turn up. Yeah. But I think pleasure gardens around here mean something entirely different.
Yeah, and I actually lived in Kennington for a while, but that's not this area, is it? So we won't talk about it.
No.
No, that's not in Vauxhall.
They're two abreast, though. They're very close.
Yeah.
And guys, tell us a bit about your early life and introduction to music. Is there a specific memory you have of why you decided to learn an instrument or become a musician later on?
Well, I started playing piano when I was 5, and my parents had tried to get me to play sports and draw and do all these other kind of hobbies, and I was just not good at any of them. And my cousin started playing piano, and I really wanted to be like her. So I started playing piano, and now I'm better than her, so I think that's good.
What about you, Nicky?
Well, I'm just like a noisy person and quite dramatic. So I think as a precocious child, I was kind of just pushed out in front, and I was a bit of a show-off, horrendous. And I've become less of a show-off, actually, since I've done it professionally. Now I'm quite shy, believe it or not. But I'm so lucky to do what I do. I make noise for a living. So what more do you want?
Well, we're looking forward to your dulcet tones. How has your artistic life changed? Obviously, in the last year, the arts world has been, all the world has been affected, but the arts sector is completely shut down. How have you kind of coped with the challenges? Have you been embracing this kind of new online world we live in? Have you taken up any new hobbies? Have you had a break from singing and playing? What's the last year been like?
Well, we were meant to be getting married, weren't we?
Yeah.
This last month. So we were gearing up for that. I was on the sewing machine, embroidering napkins, everything. But so we did a lot of, I suppose, drinking. In the first little while, we were like, oh, there goes another, opera contract. I learned 5 roles, which I didn't get to do, which was just so annoying. They were cancelled 3 days before rehearsal started. So, but have been very creative.
Yeah.
We've, done discs and recitals, lots of this kind of online HD ready thing, or not ready, whatever the case may be. We've done a lot of that. What else have we done?
We got a dog. We got a puppy, like everybody else.
Yeah.
And
Cliché.
he's been taking up lots of our time. And I took quite a bit of time off of playing piano, which is nice, and have been reading a lot more, gardening.
Yeah.
And you guys have also been doing loads of social good. Like you were saying, Nicky, you've been working in a vaccination centre and doing all this amazing stuff to help the community, which is so great.
I mean, it's slightly selfish, really. I'm like, let's get this vaccination out so I can get back on stage. Please. These are the priorities. No, but it is lovely. And the folk are so gorgeous. And I've got to meet so many of my neighbours and people who live in the local surrounds, that it's been really great, and just seeing people full of hope for the future, and that next year hopefully we'll all be in a live setting.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm sure our viewers are dying to know, how did you guys meet, and when did you start playing and performing together?
Wow.
We met actually randomly at Wigmore Hall one year. Nicky was coming in to coach a little group that I was playing at the hall for. And he came in and coached us, but we didn't actually cross paths again until about a year later.
Yeah. We met on a location-based app, which was an Uber.
Yes. And it just took off from there.
Cool. And did you guys start immediately pretty much playing together, all that kind of stuff?
No, actually.
No,
we
we
didn't. We didn't perform or do anything together for 6-7 months, probably.
Yeah. We geeked out about music a lot. And, we still love talking about things. I'll come home and Dylan will be watching Electra on the telly, and I'm like, get that off. When's Coronation Street on? But we do talk about music quite a bit, and but we love collaborating.
Yeah.
When people say, you know, who do you want to bring? I'm like, Dylan. Of course, because we get to hang out, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
So, Nicky, you were selected for the Harwood at ENO's very special program for singers when they, I suppose, leave university. Would that be a fair thing to say? And was that a big launch pad for your career? Do you feel like, is that the kind of that moment where things just really went exponentially this way?
I suppose so. I was really lucky that I just left the National Opera Studio and went into like a lead role at ENO, and I was a young artist. They were called young to begin with, but I was there for 7 years. And then they changed it to Harwood, and I was definitely stretching the youth bracket near the end. So I was really happy to be there, and everybody was very supportive, and they really looked after the early part of my career, and I love going back there. It's like a operatic home for me, which is nice.
And Dylan, you obviously balance life as being a performer, a vocal coach, but you also run your own Resung series. Like, how do you balance all those different kind of obligations?
Well, I think it's just about prioritizing what you do every day. I did Resung for 2 years and then had to change location, and then COVID hit. So we're on a bit of hiatus at the moment, but hopefully starting back up when everything is open again, which would be nice.
And Nicky, I think our viewers will be particularly interested to know, so you have actually toured with iconic Vauxhall Shirley Bassey.
Yes, Dame Shirley.
Dame Shirley Bassey. Tell us more about how that collaboration happened and some wild stories of touring with Shirley Bassey.
Well, it was kind of ridiculous, really. I was signed to Decca like nearly 20 years ago, and at that time they used to kind of buy you on to like people who are much more famous than you to be part of their tour, and so I was her support act.
Nice.
And we got to sing duet, and I just used to hang out in a dressing room because she used to warm up all the time. She was amazing vocalist, and she still is. She can sing for like 3 hours. It's kind of operatic in a way, so I'm sure she could still do like Altsucena or something. But she was fabulous. She was really great.
And guys, any advice for like young pianists, young singers thinking about entering the profession, particularly right now when the profession is in such a difficult moment? You know, have you got any advice for young people thinking of going to performance college, for example? And what to expect maybe from the career, you know, that kind of...
Well, I think it's difficult for young people at the moment. I've been doing lots of mentoring with young singers and duo partners, and there's this sensation of failure to launch at the moment because the business doesn't really exist in the way that it will do. So I've just said to everybody, make sure you're honing your craft so when these opportunities do come, that you're ready to be prepared for your big break. So I've been saying that to lots of young people.
Yeah, and I think it's good to remind people to be well-rounded. And so if you like performing with vocalists, then maybe try some chamber music or some solo music. And also just remember that it doesn't just stop at music. You should try and read about the poets and read the biographies of the composers, or just read a novel or get out for a walk, you know. It's nice
get some life perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Get everything back into perspective.
And guys, we're really looking forward, obviously, to performance this evening called A Few of My Favorite Things. Talk us a bit through about this recital program and why these songs are so important, I suppose particularly for you, Nicky, as the singer, but also for you, Dylan, from a pianistic perspective.
Well, this is repertoire that we really enjoy performing together, and I suppose they're not all linked kind of through a narrative, but each group have got a certain flavour. So we've got things which are my favourites, so Scotland, and we've got serenades.
And some cabaret-ish
numbers. Yeah, I find it more interesting to do that than just a big swathe of Schubert, for example, for this kind of thing. I think if people watch this, then I think there's something for everybody, which is a kind of smorgasbord of song.
Well, guys, we're really looking forward to your performance this evening, so enjoy yourselves.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
You are the greatest wonder, far and wide, far fairer than the flowers that bloom in May. The great cathedrals vanish by your side, Siena and Oviedo melt away. worship and adore you. The Sistine Chapel fades away before you. You are so rich in grace, so pure, so true. The highest art could never equal you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's so fantastic to be here with you in your living rooms, on the beach, maybe in a posh hut in your garden, wherever you've decided to tune into this concert this evening. Now, when Dylan and I were putting together this concert for the final Classical Vauxhall concert of the week, we thought, why don't we do some of our favorite things? Now, you may have thought that I was going to do some kind of Julie Andrews tribute, twirling on an Austrian hilltop in my finest dirndl. But you'll just have to imagine that by yourselves, because we're actually going to share some of our favorite songs with you this evening. We started with Wolf from his Italian songbook, and that gave us a kind of Mediterranean flavor, which is what everybody needs at the moment, as we can't actually go there. And we're going to continue now with some more heavenly-like songs, which is perfect as we're in this glorious church. So this next piece is Ronaldo Hahn's Acclaimed, where I'm saying to my lover, if you love me, and I believe you do, then even the kings and queens and the heavenly ambrosia cannot match to what you can offer me. S'il est vrai, Cloris, que tu m'aimes, mais j'entends que tu m'aimes bien. Je ne crois pas que les rois m'aiment et à bonheur serait opportune à venir changer ma fortune pour la félicité des cieux. Tout ce qu'on dit de l'ambroisie ne touche pas ma fantaisie au prix des grâces de tes yeux. Tout ce qu'on dit From French Melody, we are now going to continue the heavenly theme and head to Yeats, who celebrates the 200th anniversary this year. And this is one of my favorite poems, set to music by Thomas Dunhill. This is The Cloths of Heaven.
Embroidered cloths, enwrought with golden and silver light, the blue and the dim and the dark cloths of night and light and the half-light. I would spread the cloths under your feet. In heaven, silence on earth, silence within. Thy hush, O Lord, o'er all the world covers the din. I do not fear to speak of the immortal kind, and yet in all thy namelessness I am not blind. Silence on earth. besten Bäche und du segnetest den Trank. Habe Dank. Und beschworst darin die Bösen bis ich, was ich nie gewesen. Heilig, heilig enthält dir Sank. Habe Dank.
I'm sure half of the car alarms in the local area are going off now after that last number, but you might be able to tell from the slightly Celtic twirls that Dylan is offering that we're going to our next favourite place. This is, of course, Scotland. But Scotland doesn't just live in Dumfries. It has crossed the world and inspired art and music for generations. This next piece is Ye Banks and Braes by Ravel.
Ye banks and braes, O bonny Doon, how can ye bloom sae fresh and fair? How can ye chant, ye little birds, and I sae weary full o' care? Thou'd break my heart, thou warbling bird, that wantons through the flowering thorn. Thou minds me o' departed joys, departed never to return. After I roved by bonny Doon to see the rose and woodbine twine, and ilka bird sang all its love, and fondly say did I o' mine. Wi' lightsome heart I put a rose, fu sweet upon its thorny tree. But my false lover stole my rose, but he left the thorn wi' me.
Of course, it wasn't just in France that people were inspired by Scottishness. I am Scottish, by the way, just in case you didn't realize. This next piece is by Schumann, and this was offered as part of a gift, while the rest of us, run down to Argos and flick through the catalogue to see what we could give our loved one. Schumann wrote this beautiful piece called Myrten, and there's quite a few numbers in there with words by Robert Burns. And this one is very appropriate, as it's about wanting to be back in the Highlands with the deer running around, instead of urban foxes, and lots of heather and woods, and quite frankly, it sounds great. So, see you all in Scotland.
Mein Herz ist im Hochland, mein Herz ist nicht hier. Mein Herz ist im Hochland, im Waldesrevier. Dort jagt es in Hirschen, verfolge das Reh. Mein Herz ist im Hochland, wohin ich auch geh. Leb wohl, mein Hochland, mein heimischer Ort. Die Wege des Freiheit, des Mutes ist dort. Wohin ich auch wandre, wo immer ich bin, auf die Berge zieht es mich hin. Leb wohl, ihr Täler bedecket mit Schnee, leb wohl, ihr Täler voll Blumen und Klee. Leb wohl, ihr Wälder bemuschtes Gestein, ihr stürzenden Bäglein in farbigen Schein. Mein Herz ist nicht hier, mein Herz ist im Hochland, im Waldesrevier. Dort jagt es den Hirsch und verfolge das Reh. Mein Herz ist im Hochland, wohin ich auch geh. Annie's got a Bernie that hasn't got a daddy. Some say it's Thomas's and some say it's Cheese, but nobody expected it to be Annie's quiet ways. Up the Northern Water, the bonny little Mannie is dandlet and cuddled close by Angus Maddie's Annie. For the Bernie's feathers they dinna muckle care, but some think it's Thomas's and some think it's James. Up the Northern Water the country folk are kind, and oh, the Bernie's feathers they dinna muckle mind. But the love in Annie's breast, the love in Annie's e'e, it makes me wish we were my nicht, the lucky lad was me.
The last wee tune of our Scottish set is all about a wee cooper from Fife who had a marital argument, and then they all got over themselves, and then they fell in love all over again. Perhaps some of you have been there. We haven't been there yet. We are getting married though soon, aren't we, Dylan?
Yes.
We are. But we shan't undertake any of these activities you're just about to see. Here we go. The Wee Cooper of Fife.
There was a wee cooper wha lived in Fife, nickety nackety noo noo noo, and he has gotten a gentle wife. He will work he hoot and diggle a lin for a shtiroo. She wasn't a bacon, she wasn't a brew, nickety nackety noo noo noo, for the spoiling o' her camely hue. He will work he hoot and diggle a lin for a shtiroo. I will care and I will spend nickety nackety noo 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 for the shaman or my gentle ken. He will wallachy hoot and diggle a lin for a shtiroo. The coopers are whitey his woo pack, nickety nackety noo noo noo, and he's laid a sheepskin on his wife's back. He will wallachy hoot and diggle a lin for a shtiroo. I will thrash my ain sheepskin, nickety nackety noo noo noo, and never think made him a gentle ken. He will live while he holds and do a lip for a Oh, I will bake and I will brew, nickety, nackety, no, 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 and never think made him a calmly hue. He will live while he holds and do a lip for a Oh, I will care and I will spend, nickety, nackety, no, no, no. He gives a toss with a golden ring. He will live while he holds and do a lip for a gotten a gentle wife, nickety, nackety, no, no, no. Just send your father we could revive. He will live while he holds on diggle a lane for a
I can imagine you all clapping tremendously in your gardens or in your posh huts. Have any of you got any of those posh huts? You know, they kind of call them home offices, but they put lots of pine everywhere and maybe a sheepskin rug on the floor. It's a lovely thing. It's an inspirational item and what we would all really like at some stage. We're moving now into what I think probably tenors do best. This is a little serenade section. Tenors are known for singing birds out of trees and ladies out of towers and all that kind of thing. But this first one has a Shakespearean twist. This is O Mistress Mine, which takes place in Twelfth Night, when quite a ridiculous character, Malvolio in yellow stockings, decides to try and woo the Count Olivia by writing this little tune.
Mistress mine, where are you roaming? Oh, stay and hear your true love's coming, that can sing both high and low. Trip no further, pretty sweeting, journeys end in lovers' meeting. Every wise man's son doth know. What is love? 'Tis not hereafter. Present mirth hath present laughter. What's to come is still unsure. In delay there lies no plenty. Then come kiss me sweet and 20. Youth's a staff will not endure, not endure. Mistress mine, where are you roaming?
The next serenade is also Shakespeare-inspired. It was made famous by, I suppose, what you might call the posh and becks of the jazz world, Cleo Lane and Johnny Dankworth. And it's Sonnet 18, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day?
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his cold complexion dimmed, and always fair from fair sometimes declines by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor How shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest? So long as men can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee.
Hopefully some of you are enjoying that last number with a martini. I'm sure my mum will be. She is probably watching. I hope she is. This next piece is from an opera called Le Roi Dix, and it's not very well known, the opera, but this is the best bit in it. I am a young lad hoping to see my bride the night before the wedding. Don't get jealous, Dylan. But the issue is, standing in front of the doorway are three burly bridesmaids. You know, they're kind of standing there staunchly. They've all done their keep fit classes, and they would finish me in a moment. So I decide to sing this little serenade to see if I can have one last kiss.
Puisqu'on ne peut fléchir ces jalouses gardiennes, oh, laissez-moi compter mes peines et mon émoi. Vainement, ma bien-aimée, je crois l'avoir espéré près de ta porte fermée. Je veux encore demeurer. Les soleils pourront s'éteindre, les nuits remplacer les jours, sont accusés et semble plaindre. Là, je resterai toujours, toujours. Je le sais, ton ami douce, et l'heure bientôt viendra où la main qui me repousse vers la mienne se tendra. Ne sois pas trop tardive à te laisser attendrir. Si Rosaine bientôt n'arrive, je vais hélas mourir, hélas mourir.
We'll let you decide whether he got a kiss in the end. What do you think, Dylan? Yes?
I think maybe.
Maybe. Dylan's quite hard to please in this situation. I'll remember that the day before our wedding. We're going now to the West End. Buckle yourselves in. One of my favourite shows is Follies by Stephen Sondheim. It's perfect Sondheim, just the right amount of words. I hope you enjoy this. It's one of my favorites, Losing My Mind.
The sun comes up, I think about you. The coffee cup, I think about you. I want you so, it's like I'm losing my mind. The morning ends, I think about you. I talk to friends and think about you. Does no one know? It's like I'm losing my mind. All afternoon doing every little chore. The thought of you stays bright. Sometimes I stand in the middle of the floor, not going left, not going right. I dim the lights and think about you. Spent sleepless nights to think about you. You said you loved me, or were you just being kind? Or am I losing my mind? I want you so, it's like I'm losing my mind. Does no one know? It's like I'm losing my mind. All afternoon doing every little chore. The thought of you stays bright. Sometimes I stand in the middle of the floor, not going left, not going right. I dim the lights and think about you. Spend sleepless nights to think about you. You said you loved me, or were you just being kind? Or am I losing my mind?
Thank you so much. It's so great to be here offering this program this evening and being able to store up all of our favorite things over the last year and a half to be able to perform for you this evening. It's like when you're on a diet and you make a list of all the things you want to eat when you come off it. Don't you think, Dylan? Yeah. Yes. It's the beef bourguignon of my diet list, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go now into, I suppose, what you'd call the cabaret circuit.
Days may be sunny with never a sigh. Don't got no money to buy. Birds in the tree sing their day full of song. why shouldn't we sing along? I'm chipper all the day, happy with my lot. How did I get that way? Look at what I've got. I got rhythm, I got music, I got my man who could ask for anything more. I got daisies in green pastures, I got my man who could ask for anything more. Old man Trouble, I don't mind him, you won't find him round my door. I got starlight, I got sweet dreams, I got my man who could ask for anything more, who could ask for anything more. I got rhythm, I got music, I got my man who could ask for anything more. Did he say man? I've got daisies in green pastures, I got my man who could ask for anything more. Oh, old man Trouble, I don't mind him, you won't find him round my door. I got sweet dreams, I've got sweet dreams, I got my man who could ask for anything more, who could ask for anything more.
This next piece is the Dunsinane Blues. It's basically Macbeth in a very shortened version. So if you missed history class, then this is for you.
Macbeth, said an apparition, shall never vanquish be until, said the apparition, great Burnham would to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against the Mac, said that will never be, that will never be, till Burnham Forest comes to Dunsinane, and now our word comes towards Dunsinane. And Macduff, marching with his army, came towards Burnham, and Macbeth waited in his castle, and Malcolm said, let every soldier hew him down the bow and bear it before him. Macbeth that day was heard to say, I will not be afraid of death and bane, till Burnham Forest comes to Dunsinane. And Macbeth listened to a servant, I looked towards Burnham, and anon, said that wretched servant, methought the wood began to move. May you see it coming, I say a moving grove. Then to quoth the Scot, the spirit said, fear not, till Burnham Forest comes to Dunsinane. But now our wood comes towards Dunsinane. Macbeth, said another apparition, Macbeth, beware, Macduff, beware, said another apparition. Be bloody, bold, and resolute, and laugh to scorn, for the power of man, of none of woman born, shall harm Macbeth. Did this disarm Macbeth? He said, swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by a man that's of a woman born. Macbeth, fighting in a battle, cited Macduff, who said, despair! Then to put it my way, now's the time for you to be a weary, and I wasn't really born, it was a Caesarean. Macbeth that day was heard to say, whoever was afraid of death and bane, till Burnham Forest comes to Dunsinane. Yes!
Oh, that got me right in the mood. Didn't it, you, Dylan?
It did, got me moving.
It got you moving and grooving. Whoever's on this piano after Dylan is going to have to wipe the joy sweat away from the keys, aren't they? This next number, we had the wee Cooper of Fife earlier on that had some suspect actions with a sheep and, you know, a bit of whacking here and there. This next one is born out of passion. And of course, it is related to a dance, which is one of the most passionate art forms out there, which I would love to do, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if I was not built like a fridge. But I still give it a good go. And this is one of the most celebrated dances, especially kind of in Spain and South America. This is a very special tango.
Touch of your lips, dear, but much more for the touch of your whips, dear. You can raise welts like nobody else as we dance to the masochism tango. Let our love be a flame, not an ember. Say it's me that you want to dismember. Set fire to my tie and blacken my eye as we dance to the masochism tango. At your command, before you here I stand. My heart is in my hand. Ooh, gugung, gugung. It's here that we must be. My heart treats. Just hear those savage beats, and go put on your cleats and come and trample me. My heart's hard as stone or mahogany. That's why I'm in such exquisite agony. My soul is on fire, it's aflame with desire, which is why I perspire when we tango. You caught my nose in your left castanet, love. I can feel the pain yet, love, every time I hear drums. And I envy the rose that you held in your teeth, dear, with those thorns underneath, dear, digging into your gums. Your eyes cast a spell that bewitches. The last time I needed 20 stitches to sew up the gash you made with your lash as we danced to the masochism tango. Kick in my brain and make me scream with pain and kick me once again and say we'll never part. You know too well I'm underneath your spell, so darling, if you smell something burning, it's my heart. Take your last cigarette from its holder and burn your initials in my shoulder. Fracture my spine and swear that you're mine as we dance to the masochism tango.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it, everybody? Thank you so much for being such terrific company this evening. And I can't wait until we can be together in a live setting, but for now, it's been wonderful to be in your living rooms, producing music for you with lovely musicians and for a lovely event. Thank you so much, Fiachra, for inviting us along. Now, when you ask a tenor to come and do a concert, you're kind of bringing this upon yourself, because a tenor brings a certain amount of emotional baggage. And one of those things is the fact that they like themselves most of all. So this is a song, a tribute to a tenor.
Why do I love me? Hook, line, and sinker, it just had to be. For can't you see? How could I decline when I asked myself to be my Valentine? I send a shiver up and down my spine. Can't take my eyes off me. Demurely I avert my gaze from me. You know it's cruel to flirt. I might get hurt. So simply entre nous. From now on I promise me that I'll be true. that isn't hard to do. No longer slighted or unrequited, who said that love is blind? I know my ego is my amigo. Oh, what a lucky find. Who is this I see peeping round the bathroom door alluringly? Oh gosh, it's me. When to bed I go, I take all my clothes off one by one real slow, then watch the playback on the video. Can't take my eyes off me. Several in the past thought they'd take the distance. They were all outclassed. This time it's going to last. I'm the groom and bride. Only took a moment for me to decide. And when I did, well, I cried. No more temptation, just pure elation. Each time I catch my eye, my trophy's plighted. I'm so excited. Now I'm a one guy.
What was that? You'd like another one? I'm sure I could hear somebody screaming. It could be from any corner of the world that somebody would like another number. Is that true? Can you hear them, Dylan?
I can. Yes, I think I can.
Yes, we can hear them. Well, we shall give you your desire. This is a wonderful, very small folk song by Benjamin Britten, which speaks for itself.
Cromwell lay buried and dead. Hee-haw, buried and dead. They grew an old apple tree over his head. Hee-haw, over his head. The apples are ripe and ready to fall. Hee-haw, ready to fall. There came an old woman to gather them all. Hee-haw, gather them all. Oliver rose and gave her a drop. Hee-haw, gave her a drop, which made the old woman go hippity-hop. Hee-haw, hippity-hop. The saddle and bridle, they lie on the shelf. Hee-haw, lie on the shelf. If you want any more, you can sing it yourself. Hee-haw, sing it yourself.
Well, everyone, that brings us to the end of Classical Vauxhall 2021. I hope you've enjoyed the past couple of evenings as much as we have here. Of course, we miss you all terribly, and we really look forward to be able to welcome you all back here, hopefully by the next time we put on Classical Vauxhall 2022. I just want to say a huge thank you again to our supporters, Vauxhall 1, the Arts Council of England and Lambeth Council. Of course, thank all our artists and of course St. Mark's for hosting us over the past number of evenings. All our concerts will remain online for the next 30 days, so please watch again, share with friends and enjoy. If you're in a position to make a donation, we'd really, really appreciate the support, and it would also mean that we can start to plan for Vauxhall 2022. Until we can welcome you all back here in person, take care, stay safe, and keep enjoying music. Thank you.